Hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a fantastic day here today. Unfortunately for us, Bitcoin is coming down a little bit and it is making people a little bit worried and a little bit concerned. And it's mainly happening because of one thing here. And let's talk about that one thing because it is not good, obviously. The United States government transfers $1.9 billion worth of Bitcoin seized from the Silk Road to Coinbase Prime. What does this mean? It basically means that people are terrified, or at least at minimum afraid, that America is going to try to sell the Bitcoin here, and that'll push the price of Bitcoin down quite a bit. If you guys recall, we saw something like this happen a few months ago with Germany selling off their Bitcoin, and we saw Bitcoin come down quite a bit. In fact, you saw institutional investors, those that belong to the hedge funds, Wall Street, they actually let the price come down a lot just so they could buy up a ton and push it up rapidly right afterwards. So overall, I'm not concerned as far as what this does to the overall bull market. But let's say you guys have a long swing trade opened up right now or something similar. It could be a very painful experience if they decide to sell. I think we've all been kind of this bliss of seeing all this movement happen towards the pro-crypto side, if you will. We've seen Donald Trump win the White House here, but he is currently Donald Trump, President Trump-elect, right? He's not there just yet. And at this point, Democrats still control the SEC. They still control all of that Bitcoin here. And with all the talk of a Bitcoin national reserve, remember, the Biden White House does not want that. The Biden cabinet does not want that. So preemptively, they could try to sell the Bitcoin here, which I think would be a massive mistake because that'd be a short-term, that'd be a nearsighted way to do things. If they were to sell off Bitcoin like this, I mean, tell me what you guys would think about this below, but if they were to do this, it would be catastrophic for anybody in the crypto community to want to vote for a Democrat again because of this pettiness going along here. At this point in time, I still would call it a coin flip to figure out if they are going to sell it. The fact that they've moved it, though, is not a good sign, especially as Joe Biden has been making some controversial decisions. If, as you guys know, he just let his son out of trouble, I guess you could say, by pardoning him all the way back down to like 2014 pardon. I don't even know what he was doing in 2014, but if he has to pardon him that far back, he was probably doing something not so good. But anyway, you guys can see that the Bitcoin was moved over there. Unfortunately, this is the big panic that everybody's concerned about. With Joe Biden doing all this stuff, most of the news is going to be covering his son, right? His son, the pardon, how it looks very controversial because Joe Biden now says the Justice Department is now in fact corrupt after he said Donald Trump was wrong for saying the same thing. This is just going to go back and forth. I don't care if you guys like Trump or Biden, whatever. This is just big news. And when we see something like this happening where all the media is focusing on one thing out there, and at the same time, the government's doing some stuff on the side that nobody's talking about, I do think this is a big concern for us. And it makes me want to pause as far as doing any long-term swing trades here that I'm going to be holding for a few weeks or so. I think right now, my best guess of what I'm going to be doing is just dollar cost averaging, waiting for this moment to kind of pass here. Because as we look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin was trying to break out today at a minimum. And what happened? We got rejected. I know I told you guys I was going to wait for the daily to be bullish and stuff like that. So I never really had a big reason to trade. But we're still not there yet. We may see Bitcoin hold on to the 20-day moving average. Unfortunately, now with this kind of fear that got sparked into the market here, if you look at the 4-hour chart, you can see the jolts that happened right here. I mean, just boom. However, you may end up seeing Bitcoin come back down here towards the $91,000 level, consolidate, and then have a breakout towards the middle of the month, which really does make this timeline just a little bit more extended than we would like to see it. So I'm not overall panicking, but when you look at Ethereum here, right? If Bitcoin's showing this weakness and Ethereum is at this larger level of resistance, it might be an okay time to at least scale out, right? Solana right now showing some resistance back over here, wasn't able to really get a good grasp, and now we're coming back down as well. Dogecoin tipping over a little bit more. Look at the daily chart here. We hit the top. Maybe now we're coming back down. This is a scale out opportunity for a lot of you guys in case Bitcoin does take a dip and all of these altcoins want to take a dip as well. That's my personal thoughts. I'll be making a stream with you guys later on to talk about this. But for me, it's much more about scaling out. You're still seeing stuff like Comp go high. I think Moodang went quite a high today as well, coming back up to here. So we are seeing some moves. But as far as I'm concerned, because Bitcoin's kind of spooking me a little bit, I'm just scaling out a little bit more right now, just in case. And then what I plan to do is if we find another level of support for Bitcoin, like around $91,000, I think the best thing for me is basically just to buy when Bitcoin's back down here and see if we're able to hold, right? So that's kind of my thoughts for today. Let me know if you guys have any questions or what you guys are thinking about here. The government moving that Bitcoin was it's a mental play they're doing, and so far it's having the intended effect.